Hey guys, this is Stu. Unfortunately a rather croaky Stu, so bear with me with the croaky Russell Crowe voice. Just nursing a rather heavy head cold at the moment, so there you go. Anyway, I thought I'd do an inbox review of another aircraft I've got in my stash, particularly beautiful looking aircraft, and it was the first of the V bombers to enter service. It is of course the Vickers Valiant B Mark 1. This aircraft flew I think from around about 1952 until sadly prematurely taken out of service in 1965, about a year before I was born. And the reason behind that was once they actually stopped using the V-Force as the main nuclear deterrent and decided to go over to the Polaris missile system, they obviously went down to low-level flying, and it was because of this that the aircraft structures were not used to the stress. And one particular aircraft, its wing spar broke, killing all the crew. And it was deemed too expensive at that time for all the fleet to be resparred. Only one was ever resparred, and I think that was example XT818, so maybe incorrect. And she soldered on until 1968 or 69, flying for the last time out of Wisley up to RAF Cosford. Or was it somewhere else? RAF Rawton, I think. It was an aircraft that was very widely loved by its pilots. Beautiful aircraft to fly, so I've read. Was only ever used in anger during the Suez crisis, and with great effect. And as I say, it was the front line of the nuclear deterrent for many years, up until 1968 and 1965, when they were prematurely taken out of service. The aircraft, as you can see, which is depicted on the box, is one of the 6 aircraft which I think took part in the grapple operations out in Bikini Atoll, testing the Blue Danube bomb. But you do have the added advantage of doing 3 other examples, one being the second prototype, another one of the same squadron in 1963, based at Marham, and another one of, I think it's 407 squadron in the low-level camouflage scheme, which was the last scheme that was ever used on the aircraft. Anyway, without further ado, we get on with this review of this immense kit. I will tell you, I've actually stood next to the last surviving example of this aircraft at Hendon some number of years ago, and I'll tell you something, I would say it's even bigger than the Vulcan. It's an immense aircraft, but beautiful at the same. Anyway, as I say, I'm going to get on with the inbox review, and if anybody wants to know the number of this kit, it's A11001. Okay, it's A11001. Okay, and on the side of the box you've got the 4 options that you can build the aircraft into, along with a colour guide in Umbro with all the colours you'll need, and obviously a little bit about the history of the aircraft on the other side of the box. Okay, and without further ado, we'll just see what's inside here. Okay, so if you bear with me a second guys, because this box isn't the easiest to open. There we go. First off, we'll go through the instruction sheet. If you just bear with me a minute, guys. Okay. Put the box over there. There we go. Again, you got a little bit of history about the aircraft, and obviously warnings about don't eat it, don't chew it, don't smoke it, etc. Various symbols for guidance through the construction process. First off, you've got the cockpit and crew, navigation system, bomb aimer, etc. At the back, you've got the crew ladder down there, add the main panel on. Then the decals for the side panels, the seats go off, the pilot and co-pilot go down. And then I'm not quite sure what this part is. Not quite sure. You add those two parts to the two side panels, obviously. Then you've got the bomb aimer, radar operator and navigator seats to go back. Add the backstage along with the control panels of the decal there. Okay. And we're indicating whichever version you do is cut off the rear and add another part of it. Depends again on which version you're going to do, whether it's a prototype or production examples. Add the two glass spheres for the navigator station, either side of the cockpit fuselage halves. Add the crew station into the interior, as you can see here. Put the rear bulkhead over. Okay. Undercarriage bay goes into the nose wheel bay, and obviously up the top here you've got the three options of where you want the payload. Okay. And then obviously adding all the bulkheads, as you can see there. Two fuselage halves go together. You can keep the bomb bay closed if you so wish, or the rear part here. Okay, I don't know what that's indicating, but you can find that out for yourself, depending on which bolt example you're building, I suppose. Then on here, as you can see, I don't know if you can point it out, is the assembly of the bomb bay itself. Now you've got the option of having the blue Danube bombing, cluster bombs, and that's it. And then obviously you've got the rear pistons, which go on for the undercarriage, well, the bomb bay doors. Bulkheads go on, etc. Showing the positioning, etc. Rear station there. And then obviously the bomb bay goes in. And it's just giving you a guide to how the bomb bay doors should be angled if you want the bomb bay open, etc. with the cluster bombs, etc. And then adding the air inlets for the engines, putting those two together. You put the rotor blades at the back, add them to the interior of the lower half of the wing, along with the crew bay door. Drill out the holes for the refueling tanks, put two wing halves together, add the main wings to the fuselage. Okay. I think again you've got the option of adding the air vents at the back there. Okay, then put the two tail elevators together, slide it into the main tail itself, and then put the main ailerons together, exhaust stacks and exhaust nozzles together, add them onto the back of the wing engines, add the elevators onto the tailplanes and the wings. And obviously this is the two options for the ECM pod at the back. Then adding all the undercarriage bays, which you can see here, the wheel hubs, etc. And again, it's just showing you where to put the outer undercarriage doors. Then obviously the assembly of the fuel tanks to the fins. Okay, nose wheel bay goes in. And then obviously you've got the underside bomb aimer station along with the cockpit that goes onto the aircraft. Then add the fuel tanks on, and you've got the option of two different examples, one for the prototype which has one pit-up tube, and then the production one with the two. Okay, goes onto the top of the air fuselage, and I think that's I'm not quite sure whether that's the main vane or something. You can, if you've got the aircraft down, have the bay door open. Okay, so that's the assembly over. Then you've got the colour call-outs. First example is in of Operation Grapple, obviously with 49 Squadron, at Bikini Atoll in June 19th, 1957. Second example, again same squadron, this time based at Marham in 1963 with the anti-flash white scheme. And the last, penultimate one is obviously of a squadron example, WZ404 207 Squadron at Marham in 64, which was their last colour scheme. And obviously you've got the option of the prototype at Boscombe Down 1956 over the overall silver. Okay, Right, let's get the main crux of the kit out. You've got the crew station, as you can see there, for the main cockpit. And that is the rear bulkhead. Okay, for the bomb bay. Top rear bulkhead. Pilot seats, navigator seats, you can see there. And then obviously you've got the radio operator, bomb aimer and navigator seat there. Okay. Let's have a look. That's your blue, oh that's your fuel tanks. Quite big. The tyres, as you can see there, are flat spotted, so you may have to do that yourself just to accentuate the weight of the aircraft. Then you've got the fins for which the fuel tanks go on. Nose bay, not badly detailed, I have to say, guys. And then obviously you've got the main undercarriage rear door bays, nicely detailed there. And what else? I think that's about it. Oh, obviously you've got the exhaust nozzles, etc. There's your fan blades, as you can see, not bad detail, will come up nice with a wash. Aircraft exhaust nozzles, as you can see there. So that's that. Something's just fallen off. Whoops. I've seen it. Okay. The next stage is your rear tail planes. Very nicely detailed with the recessed panel lines, as you can see there. And the bomb bay. Beautiful detail there, guys, as you can see. Undercarriage bay doors. I mean, you can add wiring, etc. if you want to do so. I may well do that myself. Then obviously the air inlets for the engines. Undercarriage. There you go. Nicely done. Okay. And this is your blue Danube bomb with the other bomb bay, with the option of the other bomb bay. There's your cluster bombs. Nicely done. Okay, there's your bomb racks. And that's that. Excuse me. This will give an impression of how big this kit is. That is the top wing. Excuse me. But again, you've got some really nice panel line detail, recessed panel line detail with the air strakes as well. Beautifully done, guys. But this is going to be a big kit, I have to say. And then obviously you've got the rear air brakes underneath. Nicely caught. Beautifully moulded. And then we've got the fuselage halves, which you can see here. Absolutely immense, guys, really is. Again, the panel lines on it are beautifully caught. So that's that. And then obviously, I'm not going to take these out of the bag, guys, because I don't want them to get scratched, etc. You've got the option of the two cockpits, one for the prototype and one for the production example, again with navigator observer station there as well. Okay, clear as a daisy. And then obviously, last but not least, your decal sheet, and you've got tons of well, you know what I call them, my mind's gone. And then obviously you've got the control panels there and stencils, etc. Beautifully produced by Cartograph, as you can see. Okay, so that in a nutshell, guys, is basically the Vickers Valiant B Mark 1 by Airfix. Looks to be a superb kit. I've seen it made up at various shows. It's immense, but beautiful, and a worthy collection to any V-Bomber fan, or classic aircraft fan for that matter. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, leave your comments, and as I say, I don't know when I'm going to get around to building this puppy. Probably when I've got somewhere with a bigger room. But all the same, an added valued kit to my stash. Anyway, until the next one, excuse me, I'm losing my voice again. Until the next time, get kit crazy, happy modelling, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care.